We're good? All right, well, we'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We need to do attendance.
Yes. Roll call. Townsend.
Present.
Mock.
Present.
Williams is present. Malco.
Here.
Matt. Present.
Okay, moving on to public comments. I don't see anyone present. So we will move on to new business. We have Board of Finance presentation from Mr. Stover.
All right, well, very exciting. So what I'll do is, I'm gonna turn this just so I can get towards me so here. Okay. And then board, if you have any questions while we go through this, please feel free to ask questions. Not only do I want to use this as an educational tool, but I also want to be able to answer questions you guys might have as we go through this. So per Indiana code, school boards and superintendent have to go through a board of finance meeting that's separate from their original board meeting. So that's what we're going to do. The parameter for this meeting is that I need to discuss the Distress Units Appeal Board. And I've talked about that in the past with everybody in the boardroom. But the Distress Units Appeal Board is basically, they provide the fiscal indicators for all of the districts in the state of Indiana. So it's a good tool for all schools to use, so we can look at where our projections are going, see where our money's going, seeing our student enrollment. So it gives you a good breakdown of the overall health for the school. So with that being said, the first area that I wanted to bring to the board's attention, and I apologize if this is a little small. So the first area is our student enrollment year after year. As I'm looking at this, when we look at student enrollment, the biggest thing with student enrollment is the fact that that's the biggest funding source that we receive, and that's based on the students that come to our school. So this year in our fall count, so you guys will hear 2 dates, you'll hear a fall count and a spring count. Our fall count, when we had our fall count, it came back at 866 kids. So within Wes-Del, we have 866 kids that attend our schools. And then if we look at last year, we had 829. So we saw about a good number of growth. But one thing that I'm really proud of with our school is a pretty consistent student enrollment. If you look at this graph looks a little skewed, but it's such a small amount. So if we look back at 2021, we're 862, which rivals what we had this year. So we've been pretty consistent. There has been years where we went down 25 or up 35, but for the most part, we've been doing pretty good. Obviously, the increase this year really helped because that allowed us to do some raises for the teachers and do the things that we needed to. So really, 866 is a really good spot for us. We did see some more kids enroll this semester. So hopefully we see the second semester number go up from even 866. Does anybody have any questions with enrollment, anything like that? No. And I have another graph that you guys will be able to see a little better. I apologize about how small that was. The next one is cash flows. So for cash flows, in the state of Indiana, we really have 3 main funds. So I really want to explain this to the board so you guys have an understanding of this. We have education, operations, debt service, and our rainy day, okay? We'll look at education first. Education is really just academic achievement. So what we spend money out of in education would be our teacher salaries, supplies for students, anything that the kids need to have a good learning experience. So that's where a large chunk of our funding is. What the revenue that flows into this is from our student enrollment. So the 866 I was talking about. So when we look at the 866 kids, that flows into education, and that's what pays for our teachers. That's what pays for all the supplies. Then we look at our operation fund. So operations, the way I view it is all overhead expenses. So keeping the lights on, utilities, anything like that, that would be an operational expense. And in operation, we have a cash balance of $750,000. I apologize, we have 1.594 cash balance in our education fund, and then debt service, we have $400,000 of cash balance. And then debt service, the debt service line is kind of by itself because that's funded through tax support. So when we take on a bond, we just took on the 2025 bond, that's where that money goes into. So that comes through our tax generated funds and we can pay for everything. And then the last area would be rainy day. When I came in July, our rainy day was, I believe, 175. So we're ticking up. That money was, the money we see that we recouped in rainy day was from some previous vehicles and things we bought. So we offset those expenses. So right now, in terms of our overall cash balances, pretty healthy, really healthy. And what I try to do from a fiscal perspective is maintain at least a 12% cash balance. So, and what I mean by that is we have an appropriation now that we're appropriated. We just got our appropriation for 2026. I look at our overall appropriation, that's how much money I can spend, and then how much money cash balance we have left outside of that. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what we look at in terms of, so these are healthy funds. We're above that 12% threshold, so that means that we're in good financial health right now. Does anybody have questions in this regard? The next one is our investment policy. Just per Indiana code, I just have to show the investment policy. This is a board policy we have in place, and this just this will authorize the treasurer, superintendent to make investments and available monies from several funds of the corporation. It just gives us the authority to do that. One thing we didn't do this year was we didn't invest funds, so we didn't have any income based on the invested funds. That would be CDs and things like that. However, we did see a pretty good amount of interest received, and this is calendar year. So for the calendar year of 2025, we received $89,776. Interest rates have been good for the last couple of years. I've been a superintendent where I've seen this number be $8,000 a year. So obviously it fluctuates, but we're doing pretty well in terms of the interest we've received in our accounts. Does anybody have a question on this one? Interest rate, Carrie?
What's that?
I thought you were asking what interest rate was. So that's there. Then 1782. 1782 notice I received Friday. So this is the formal letter that allows us to build our budget. So what I'm looking at right here is this is from last year. So don't get confused with the dates because this is the 2025 budget order. The right is the 2026. So when I look at the budget order, this is the amount of money that the state is allowing us to spend for this given year. In the rainy day last year, we were able to appropriate $300,000. The state will not allow you to appropriate money you don't have. So if you guys remember, we have 230-some thousand in rainy day. I only appropriated this year 100,000. That means that I plan on, ideally I wouldn't spend any rainy day fund, but if I need to, we have $100,000. I kept it conservative because we don't have much money in that fund at all. So that is our rainy day fund. Our debt service. So our debt service fund, and the big ticket items are down here. This is what the community is going to see. If I look at 2025, I look at debt service. Debt service, we had a 45 cent certified tax rate. If I look at last year, we were 45%. If I look at our debt service rate for this year, we're at 45 cents. So we have seen no change or no impact to our taxpayers. When I go down to operations, last year we were at 50 cents, okay? So our certified tax rate was 50 cents for every $100 of assessed value. Last year, 50. This year, our operation is going to kick down just a little bit. We're going to see a kick down to 47 cents, so essentially 3 cents of savings. So what does that mean? So we have something called the net assessed value. Our net assessed value increased from last year 10.2%, which is $36 million. So our net assessed value increased by $36 million from 1 year. The reason for that is reassessment of land values, building or new infrastructure within the taxing district, or increase on taxes. It depended. And I know the agriculture tax, we saw some increases over the last year or so. So we saw our net assessed value increase. That's why we're seeing a little bit of a drop in what rate we have to have, because we're capturing you. Our debt service rate is about 45 cents, and then our operation is 47 cents. Does anybody have a question with that? Okay. And then, yeah, so these are the things in which dictate where our rate is and how much money we can receive. So being very conscientious about our taxpayers is a big deal to me.
So the residents in the area will
Will not see it. They will not see an increase in the school at all.
It's good. Yeah.
Okay. The next area we have right here is what is the DUOP report. And I apologize again. So on here, this is and if you ever, we'll stay on this side so I can actually walk through it a little bit. But if you guys ever get bored, you're more than welcome to go on here. And you can just type in DUOP on Google and then it'll bring you here. So this is the Indiana Gov website. This is going to show you the health of any district in the state of Indiana.
Oh, GG.
Okay. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show, and this is kind of stuff I've kind of already covered. Okay. Okay, so our student enrollment, and this is from last year, indicators 829, an SS value of 361, estimated population within our taxing district is 5,092 people. So this is the general overview of our community as a whole. Enrollment demographics, this is one thing, this is what I just showed you guys, and this is probably a better representation because the model looks better. So what we have is, this is our enrollment trends. So the graph doesn't look nearly as bad as the one I showed you before. So if I actually were to click on this, 824 from last year, if we had another line for this year, we would see 866. So this graph portrays a much better representation of where we're at. So in terms of student growth, we've been pretty consistent where we're at. And that makes it easier for me financially as we build, because we can assume to a certain degree of how many kids we're having this year. Fund balances, this is a creative one. I apologize, it won't let me click on these. So fund balances. So one thing I really want to look at is the drop of our funds. So one thing we have to be conscientious about, the big funds, as you guys are aware, is education. Education's orange. This is how much money we had in our accounts over the years, and we can see that decline. So from about 2019 to 23, we saw a dramatic change from our education fund in terms of how much money we had. And then what we're also looking at is our operations fund. Operations fund, very similar as well. We've seen a lot of drop. We saw it pick up a little bit. So what we're really trying to do is see this trend go the opposite direction and figuring that piece out. These two, this fund right here is stimulus. So if you remember the ESSER funds and all the money we got, that money's not there anymore. That's why it's showing a drop, because we just don't have the money. We're not bringing it in. And then we also have a little bit of drop here. And anytime I see this is Title I, Title IV. These are all title grants. It's because we were waiting for our reimbursement to get that money back. So I'm not concerned about these, but really we want to see this trend go opposite direction. So that's what we're going to work on the next couple of years as we start to build that cash fund balance. Does anybody have a question on that? Does anybody want to see any other colors? And then, like I said, if you have access to this, anybody can go in there, take a look at our health, financial health. This will tell you exactly where we're at. You can do the document. It's pretty neat. So we've got that. Annual surplus, and then we can look at the annual surplus and deficit. This is going to show how our expenditures look in comparison. So if we look at revenue, so revenue's green, expenditures is blue. So the blue outpaces the green is not good. So that's the things we need to look. So In 2024, I wish it had 25 because we don't have representation for that, but we outpaced, so our revenue was good there. What do I have during the 23 year? So
That's what I was asking earlier.
yeah, so running the numbers and figuring out, because any year that we see that we outpace blue out of green, it's not a good year because we're outpacing what the means we have to, you know, to fund everything.
It goes back to 19.
Well, 15 too.
Yeah. So, yeah, so you get an idea. So trying to make sure that our revenue outpaces our expenditures. Okay, and then we have revenue by type is just going to show you how much education fund operation. It's not a really detailed document. This really doesn't show too much. We do not have an operating referendum, and fund balance as a percentage of expenditures. We can look at that real quick. This just shows how much our fund balance is compared to our expenditures. So if I were to click on this, we had $8.8 million in expenditures. We had a fund balance of 1.7, and then it came out to be 18.9% of the fund balances with investments. 14% there, and obviously we want to see this tick up as well. We want a higher percentage based on our fund balances when we get to the end of the year. Any question on that? Yes.
Yeah. It's declining.
Yeah, so you can see the fund balance is 2.8, 2.6, 2.3. As it's dwindled down, well, it came up a little there to 1.3. So we can see the balances depreciate as we go through. And the goal is to see that percentage rise.
Well, we get to a point where we get out of kind of partnership and duo. I mean, is it, when do we get to the point where they kind of?
Good, they're pretty good at this right now.
Okay.
And the trajectory we're going right now, because I tied them in with policy analytics, the one pager, and all the things we're doing right now is proving that we're going to get out of that. So,
Okay.
yeah. So
We're
it's been
in better relationship.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I met with Duwa last month, and it was very promising. Especially getting some funds off of our plate and things like that. This has been really good. So, with that being said, okay, and then, like I said, these four slides were just the information on each one of those, and then I thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
No, the presentation.
Yeah, and like I said, I want to be very transparent, not only to just you guys, but as a community as well. So if there's ever any questions, let me know, and if I don't have the answer, I'll find it. But yeah, thank you very much.
Appreciate it, thank you. Great information. All right, so moving on to the next item in new business. Well, I won't update. Yeah, it was just slow moving to the next. So we are looking to approve the depository through our Wes-Del schools. Mr. Stover has his recommendation of continuing with Star Financial Bank at this point in time. So I think we're just looking for a motion to continue with Star as a depository.
Motion to continue with Star Financial as our depository.
Is there a second?
Yeah.
Any discussion on that? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? The motion has been approved. Okay, next item in new business, in the computer, so we are looking to elect the Board of Finance officers.
Okay, and then with the board of finance, typically what we do is one of the board members has a recommendation or however that works, and we just go from there.
Okay, I just snapped it. Okay. So we do all of them or just president and secretary?
For the board of finance, honestly, I would just do president and secretary. I know that we have this on there, but yeah, I would just do president and secretary for the board of finance.
So we're just looking for a nomination for president for the board of finance.
I make a motion to do Shane. Because I feel like he's into the financial stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Is there a
He
second?
gets to nerd out with me on the Excel documents.
I do like Excel, I can't.
He does like all this stuff, like number crunching and things like that.
We can really nerd out. Okay.
Is there a second for Shane?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, we'll vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, Shane.
Thanks.
All right, so secretary or is the second? Okay, no.
Yeah, I was just secretary,
Okay, so we're looking for a nomination for secretary for the Board of Finance.
What does that all entail? I guess I shouldn't ask. Not much. I
I don't think you have to do the secretary part like Shane does for regular meetings.
Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion for Brittany.
No, that's not what I was saying.
That's what I thought I heard.
No.
Is there a second for Brittany?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Ah,
Any opposed? There you go, Brittany. All right, moving on to the next item.
Hold on a second.
Oh,
He's
sorry.
catching up over here. Just know there has to be this kind of stuff in there, finance meeting, could be in there as well.
All right, thank you.
All right, so board reorganization, we need to appoint treasurer, deputy treasurer. So we are just asking to appoint Teresa Whitesell as treasurer and Jordan Burns as deputy treasurer.
Motion to approve. One second here. I'm sorry.
Is yours slow too? You vote on it?
My computer's a little
Yeah,
slow.
mine, when I refresh it, it'll do that.
So we are just looking for a motion to appoint Teresa as treasurer and Jordan Burns as deputy treasurer.
I'll make that motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about your computer being slow. Okay, is there a second?
He was waiting for.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm
All
sorry.
right.
Larry, you did the nomination, or?
Yes.
Yes, sir. And then who did this?
Brittany.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, next is appointing legal counsel, and I'm waiting for my computer to upload. We are asked to approve defer Warren LLP as legal counsel for 2026. Just looking for a motion.
I'm going to move to approve them as our legal counsel.
Is there a second?
I will second.
Any discussion? We will vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? They are approved to continue in 2026. And then we have bonds. So do I need to read through each one of these then? We are asked to approve the following bond recommendations: treasurer, $300,000, deputy treasurer, $250,000, food service director, $50,000, athletic director, $50,000, building secretaries, 4 of them with $25,000, cashiers, 5 at $15,000.
And that is pretty standard from what I believe.
Yeah.
Motion to approve the following bond recommendations.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Those have been approved. All right, we are moving on to board comments. Board comments related to the Board of Finance meeting. Larry?
I don't have anything.
Carrie?
No, thank you.
Shane?
I'm good, thank you.
Brittany?
I'm good.
I just thank you for putting it together.
Yes,
Good
thank you
information.
very much.
All right, we need to adjourn the meeting. Looking to have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting now is adjourned for the Board of Finance. We will proceed on to our regular board meeting.
Okay, 1 second, please.
Yeah, we'll give Shane some time to catch up. Okay, this one's all right.
I know that's what I'm trying to go back.
Man, this computer.
Yeah.
My connection is slow. So, okay. I'm sorry, now who motioned to close?
Larry did.
And
Second. Okay. sit that back.
I'd like so.
Yeah. That's it. I was looking at my notes, I'm like, no.
We'll run into it.
I don't think it matters a lot.
Well, I have it fixed. But I was wrong.
No, it matters.
Did you know that I meant that it was wrong?
Yeah. Oh, no, but I spelled it Malou. I didn't fix that. Sorry.
Are we ready to,
Almost.
okay, you just let me know.
Updating.
I would just, I would state the time that we're starting. Because
Okay.
we're here to 6:45 time, still, I would say
Okay,
at 6, whatever, we're gonna start our regular cleaning.
Proving.
Okay. Come on.
And I'll have to go back all the way in to update.
Okay, I'm ready to do the attendance again.
okay, well, we're gonna call to order our regular board of trustees meeting at 6:26 PM. We will do attendance again
All right, Townsend,
here.
Mock,
Present.
Williams is present, Falco,
Here.
and back.
Present.
All right, public comments. No one is here for public comment, so we'll move on to consent agenda. We've got claims minutes in, this agenda and then December end of month reports. So first item we would need to do is to approve the consent agenda items A and B, claims and minutes.
Motion to approve the consent agenda, the items A and B.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, consent agenda items A and B have been approved. You have, for your information, the month, December month end reports. Do you need any discussion on that? Okay, we'll move into new business, employment. We have some employment, recommendations that are there for your review. I'm just looking for a motion to approve those items A through E.
I motion.
Is there a second?
I will second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That has been approved. Item B, under new business, we have the election of school board officers for 2026.
And as we did with the board of finance, once again, we need a recommendation. And I think we should have a recommendation for each one as we go through, and then
All right. We are looking for a recommendation for president.
I'll nominate you, Amy.
Is there a second?
I will second that.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Let me
She's
get,
like, I thought it was.
Just a few. Thank you.
all right, wait a second here. Hang on. Who's second?
I am.
If I can shorten the nomination process up, I just nominate we all keep our same spot.
That's all right.
All right.
Shane's like, no, give me a.
I'm fine for
I think Carrie wants to be secretary.
It's not gonna be very good.
Are we good to just do one?
I would just, yeah, we could retain the,
Do it all. Okay, nominate four.
and just use the motion in the second, the same for all four of them.
Okay, so the nominations.
So the
Sorry,
motion is to retain seats, Brittany Marcus, VP, Shane Williams as secretary, Carrie Malco, and Larry Bennett as board members.
I'd be the liaison.
Aaliyah.
Yeah, so we don't
That
want
is
to take that title away from me.
legislation liaison. All right, sorry, you can have that. So we're
Okay,
just looking for a motion.
okay, we had a motion.
We got a motion.
Okay, second.
Yeah.
So we'll be good.
Yep, and then all the.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
I second.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you should be good.
And it has passed. So congratulations, everybody. Board meeting calendar.
Thank you, because that saves me a lot of typing.
We are, considering action to approve the recommendations for the board meeting calendar for 2026. High level changes, maybe to once a month. Second Wednesday of the month. There'll be a couple of months where there are 2 meetings, and those are noted in the calendar.
Be the second or third? Second.
It's the second.
Second.
What was the 2-4 again? Is it later
Yes.
fall?
So we have 2 board meetings, the 2nd and 4th, and then the 2nd and 4th, Wednesday of September and October. And the reason for that is for compliance. So when we go through our budget process, collective bargaining, there's a number of meetings we have to do. So I just need to make sure we have 2 in those months, because once we have a ratification, or actually once we have public comment, then we have to have ratification. Sometimes that's like within 72 hours. So having 2 meetings built into those 2 months make things so much easier. So, for those watching, we will have all those meetings here at the central office moving forward. So I just wanted to make sure everybody do that.
That's 6, right? I don't
Yes.
remember reading that or.
Oh, I apologize. Yes.
I mean, it was probably in there. I just don't remember if I read that or not.
I know.
I don't think it
no.
was.
No,
I just
6
assumed it was
p.m.
gonna be 6
Yes, 6 p.m. That was a very good catch. So yes, it will be 6 p.m. like it's always been. It will just be on Wednesday, the 2nd Wednesday of each month.
So we are just looking for a motion to approve the calendar.
I will approve.
Is there
I'll do a motion.
is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, that has been approved. Next item is the approval of Mr. Stover's recommendations for the creation of a new classified employee handbook.
Just for disclaimer, what I did was, this document, our classified handbook, was created, or it hasn't been revised since 2004. So the biggest thing that I wanted to make sure that I went through was, 1, compliance with the state of Indiana with all things. We also had some language that should never be in a contract that I had to remove just legally. So I went through everything with a fine tooth comb. I wanted to make sure our employment status and expectations were laid out. Employment classifications were laid out. We have benefit language that was updated. We also have holiday pay and overtime pay, and definitions of all of that. Background checks and criminal reporting, professional conduct in the workplace. We had to update some of the language in there. Attendance, leave evaluations, safe, health and compliance. We had to update tobacco-free, drug-free, all of the free things. Food service employees, we had an addendum. So I worked with our food service director, Ms. Turnbull, and we worked through to put some parameters for her employees, just so they know when to show up to work. Because one of the things, the hard thing is, like, how do you go to work when you don't have an idea of what your expectations are?
Mhm.
It wasn't a punitive stance. It was more so, hey, so you gotta know, like, so we can all be on the same page. Yeah, so we updated that, and we will have an updated bus and transportation handbook. I just didn't have enough time to get that done this month, but my plan would be to have that for recommendation for next month.
And so then if we approve this, then you're gonna take this out and hand it to all the associates here, and then they will sign it by when?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, so I'm
When
going
will it be implemented?
Yeah, because one thing I realized when I came in was we weren't having employees sign off on these documents. And obviously we have to have compliance and things like that, but the general understanding of what your day-to-day conduct is a big deal. So when I talked to the bus drivers, they said they had never seen one before. I'm like, ooh, probably need a handbook, so we know how to respond in situations and scenarios. So not a punitive stance, more so just making sure we have good governance.
Expectations are out there.
Yeah.
All right, batteries is getting low.
Okay, so we are looking for approval of the new classified employee handbook.
Motion to approve the new classified employee handbook.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that has been approved. Last item in new business, we have donations. We would just like to recommend the approval of the acceptance of the donation, we have a $100 donation towards unpaid lunch account balances from Kyle and Morgan Mosier.
I don't, I motion to approve. Sorry.
Is there a second?
I will second.
All in
Can't talk
favor?
time, apparently.
Aye.
Aye, sorry.
Any opposed? All
I
right,
didn't say
what
aye.
do you
I'm
think?
sorry, aye.
The Mosiers for that donation. All right, superintendent's report.
Just a few things. If you get a chance if you have a chance to stop by the elementary, I suggest doing so. I appreciate the board and your confidence in the bond process. We have started some of the small projects through the bond that we received last month. So at this point in time, we have updated the flooring in the elementary office. It looks remarkable. The flooring it's actually identical to this, but light. So it's very pretty going through there. We have updated carpet in the classrooms. One thing that we wanted to make sure is in the reading nooks and everything, the kids can actually sit on the carpet and have really nice carpet. So we've got some new carpet in the elementary. We also are in the process of updating our STEM lab. Mr. Lamb does a fantastic job down at elementary, and there's been a number of years we just overlooked that space. We've got a lot of really cool equipment in there, but the space just wasn't up to our standards. So we're updating the flooring in there, and that should be done by the end of this week. We are also updating all the toilets. I know that's a small thing, but we're updating toilets in the middle school and high school because all the toilets are from when the building was built. So we're renovating that. And one thing we are doing away with, we're going back to the traditional manual flush valves. One thing we're finding is the sensor ones will stay and they'll flush nonstop. So we're trying to conserve water. So we're going to step back in time a little bit with that. We'll see how that goes. And it's a lot cheaper to go with the manual flush valve opposed to a sensor. So we're looking at that. And then we also have a partnership with Mackey Counseling. Very excited about the opportunity. Mackey Counseling will start servicing our kids. They will come in, they're free of charge. So we'll actually have a secondary counseling service. So basically the way it works is our in-house counselors will provide referrals to the individual we have here from Mackey Counseling. So very excited about that. It'll be very good, and especially just more support for kids. So I'm very excited about that.
You said something about us stopping over at the elementary.
Yeah.
What could be done about setting up a tour for the buildings?
Yeah, absolutely. I would be more than happy to do so. Obviously, we're doing a lot of updates right now within the STEM lab, but if a community member or a family would want to come, we're always happy to give tours to show the family, but also for the board, I'd like for each one of you guys to be able to walk and do a tour with me, especially with some of the updates we're doing. Obviously, these are not super expensive updates, but they're necessary updates and they make things look a lot better. So we're really excited about that. And we are going to be updating the elementary playground to some degree. We have some new equipment for the elementary playground. And so over the next couple of months, it'll be pretty exciting to see some of these small, but really tangible differences we'll see this year.
All right, we're down to board comments. Mr. Matt,
Don't have anything.
Mr. Malcolm.
Unfortunately, I don't know the names. That's bad on my part. But we had two young ladies who won sectionals and regional this past week. So good luck to them.
I don't have anything.
Brittany?
Well, first of all, I attended my first archery meet because Remy's doing archery this year. And I will say Wes-Del has a good following and going good with the whole archery program. So I think that's really cool. Something that started out just as a lesson I think Ms. Puckett did in PE class, the amount of kids that have taken to it. And so I learned a lot about archery this week, but then also I believe it's elementary night, if I'm right, at the basketball game. And so on Friday, the little kids are going to be doing some stuff. I know last year, I think they did like the robotics and kind of drones and stuff like that. So if you have an elementary kid, I believe they are free with a paint and doll. Don't quote me on that, but even if your kid is not participating, you can come to the game and support our Warriors. Yeah.
Well, I hope everybody had a great holiday break and kind of refreshed, and I think we're looking forward to a bright semester. And lots of great things continue to happen here, so appreciate everybody's efforts.
Absolutely.
We are just needing to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Any opposed? All right, the meeting is now adjourned. Thank you very much.